the B-sides of my little round journal. Hey, it's Karen. Welcome to My Take at the Lake. So I showed the A-sides. Started with this. A few flip through Fridays back. I'll link it below in case you missed it. It has taken me about a year. I remember doing this and this, the first 2 pages, right about this time of year, late August, early September. And so we've come full circle, and you'll see in the A-sides video that it went through the different seasons: autumn and Thanksgiving, winter, Christmas, Valentine's. And so this is the B-sides. The B-sides. And I'm happy to report it is officially finished. I even did the couple of pages that I said on the last one I probably won't do those for a long time. I did those too. So this is done as far as I'm concerned. I was going to leave this page just plain, but I found this little guy and I just thought he was so cute. So I added him to jazz it up a little bit. And if you've not done one of these little round journals, I highly recommend it. There's all different kinds of ways to bind it. I happen to have a bag full of these easy open rings from Amazon. And it makes it really easy to take the page off and work on the page by itself. I have worked on them on the rings as well because I'm a lazy crafter. But sometimes you just need to get around those rings. But you can put string through it, embroidery floss through it, twine through it. Anything that you can do, that you can tie, you can use here. I've seen the little cinch spiral bound, just little tiny ones. There's all different ways to do it. So we'll just do a quick flip through. Some pages I like way better than others. Like, I'm very happy with this. I like how clean it is, how bright. This is kind of fun. Just a piece of tissue and some scraps that I had on the desk. I got some gold, silver, and copper leaf, and I just happened to have this out. Thought I'd try it out, and this is what happened. Stickers and marks. Not my favorite, but it was fun. This was a watercolor that I had done when I had cut it out. It was already colored. And so I did just some ink work, just some ink doodling, put a few stickers on, and some of my words to live by. I'll link that kit below. It's an alternative to small talk. I have several words kits, and this one is the creativity one, I believe. Nothing is ever wasted. This is little washi tape that I had used to cover up an address and personal information on a flip through that I had done. And when I pulled all the tape off, I just stuck it on the edge of my desk instead of throwing it away because it's washi tape. So then I had my little round journal. I keep it right next to the desk here, and I grab it when I have a few minutes and a little bit of space. And I just stuck all that washi tape on, and then I just made these. I doodled it on a piece of paper, and I glued it to a piece of cereal box or something so that it has a tiny bit of dimension. And the design, it kind of replicated what's on, I think this is a gaming washi of all things, and I just kind of replicated the colors. Neurographic art. This was a fun sprayed napkin or paper towel, I think paper towel probably, that I glued down. And then once that, my homemade Mod Podge, once that was glued down with the Mod Podge and dry, I did the neurographic art, which is just this form of doodling where you make sure there's no hard angles. You round out all the hard angles. Love it. Did some faux stitching, faux sewing around with my marker, made some knotted thread. It's fun. This is just scraps from my desk because it was just a teeny piece. This one is the to-do list, all vintagey stuff. You gotta go get the clothes from the dry cleaner, and the calendar's always calling, and someone's on the phone, and I gotta get my shoes fixed or whatever. Even has a little piece of coffee dyed lace and a tag. This is a piece of music, obviously. It says, "My heart is wrapped around you," and I wanted to include pictures of the Bostons. So this is Riley, different close-ups of Riley's face. And there's Buddy and Ridley here, and Bitsy. And I printed it too small the first time, but I didn't want to throw them out. I didn't know what to do with them, so I just stuck doubles down. This is leftovers from when I did the Dark Fairy Tale themed project. I had a lot of these cluster makings left over. This is gauze that I dyed with coffee and or fun sprays. Just bits and pieces that were on the desk, and corrugated cardboard underneath. This was a really bright, homely watercolor, but it was fall, and so I added some dark browns just to jazz it up a little bit. A punched leaf and a sticker with every leaf a miracle by Walt Whitman. And now I quite like it. Again, I did this fall of last year. Dictionary definition, magazine page, and another punched leaf, more faux sewing. There's sewing pattern tissue on the bottom of this, underneath everything, to give it that vintage look because it was bright white watercolor. This little guy, he was fun. White watercolor paper, music stamp, ransom letters, a piece of mulberry paper, a black safety pin with a couple beads. Couldn't have been easier. This is a little plastic ring. I don't know what it's from, but it made it hang better. This one is totally inspired by Carrie at Mixed Media Arts. She has done a couple of how to make your own version of Tim Holtz collage papers, and they're fantastic. I will link those 2 videos below. She did one of his most recent one, which of course is the painty one, the artist's themed one. And I didn't do any more. I just did this one tiny little piece of tissue and then put it on this page. And I just love how it turned out. It's exactly what I wanted. I will do her faux Tim Holtz pages on a bigger scale because I just love how it turned out. And the last one is pen and ink work. That was a grungy, I think this is inspired by Michelle at Creative Cove. Grunged up the background, did some stamping on it, did my inked fly tie, and then threw some watercolor in for that pop of color. And that brings us back to our little beastly. This was great fun. The whole thing is inspired by Carrie at Mixed Media Arts. I'd never seen a round journal. Of course, once I started watching, there are a few others out there, but not very many. If you've not done it, at first the circle was a challenge to work in. It's a small area, and it's a very different space to fill up, and I quite enjoyed it. I liked having it hang right here so that if I had a few minutes, I could just play. And I know somewhere along the line I've posted a picture of me working when my studio is just a mess and I have just this much room surrounded by chaos. It doesn't take much room to work on this little guy. And he's perfectly portable. You can grab some fussy cuts of glue stick and this and go to town. Maybe your little travel watercolor kit and do some watercolor. So fun. If you haven't seen the first one, again, I'll link that below. I'll link Carrie's round journal videos below as well, so you can see how hers look. And I hope you do it. If you do, let me know. If you've done one, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Happy Flip Through Friday. There's lots of people that jump in and out of this hashtag. The hashtag is hosted by the lovely Christina at Christina's Shack. She's got a great caravan journal and some wonderful glue books. And she just did a fairy rosy journal flip through. Janet Nash does Flip Through Fridays quite often. She includes a tutorial sometimes. Amy at Doki Doki Forest does Flip Through Fridays, as well as Jean Bainey. I'm sure there are plenty more who do, but those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. And Sue Fichter, I think she's done a couple of Flip Through Fridays as well. So if you're looking for ideas, that's why we do this. We show you our work, some of our best work, some of our not so good work, but it's all to help you feel inspired and get ideas, because one thing sparks another, you know. We'll keep it short and sweet today. I hope you have a lovely crafty day and that you are loving up those beastlies. Mate at the lake. Out for now.